President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, for holding this conference under his auspices. Cairo Water Week, this annual event in its 6th edition. We would like to welcome you all to the closing ceremony. Distinguished guests, over these days of the week, Cairo Water Week proceedings witnessed the number of sessions as well as high-level meetings with the attendance of a number of experts, scientists, officials, and those working in the water sector. And a lot of concrete results came out in the form of memos of understanding, agreements, and they all aim at protecting water resources, the source of life on this planet. All this made this event every year one of the most important water conferences and one of the pivots of international decisions due to the unique regional, Arab, and international location of Egypt. And now the first speech, Ms. Alina Velikova, the Deputy Secretary General of International Meteorology Organization, WAM.
Participants and now friends, we're all friends in this room. As we bring the Cairo Water Week to the close, it's with great pleasure that we reflect upon, our discussions and insights that have unfolded over the past few days. This year have been a testament to the critical role water plays in our adaptation efforts for sustainability and how water can help and can be a cornerstone in our solutions to both adaptation and mitigation to climate change. Throughout this week, we had delivered and shown profound impacts of climate change on the world water resources. We have witnessed how increased temperatures, changing precipitation, and rising sea levels threatens the very lifeblood of our planet. Water scarcity, floods, and droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, but these challenges, despite of those, we have also discovered the water is not merely a victim of climate change, it is a powerful part of our solution. If we take care of water, water can help us to take care of climate. We have emphasized the urgent need to integrate water in the climate change solutions. We seek the synergy between water management and climate change adaptation and mitigation is undeniable. As we depart from Cairo these days, we carry with us the collective commitment to advocate for the full inclusion of water into the COP process, into climate negotiations, and into climate action in our countries, in our regions, and globally. Our message is clear. We must ensure that water role in climate change action is acknowledged and prioritized. We would like to commend tremendously the leadership of Egypt, the presidency of COP27, for their heartful and consistent efforts and persistence to bring the water agenda through the climate action. COP27 seen the first water day in all history of conferences of parties. It has concluded with inclusion of water in important decisions, but also COP27 was COP of action and implementation. So now this week, thanks to you, we have come closer to the solution. We found more practical steps which we can take, and we will inform our negotiators and our governments and our businesses to take the steps and bring us closer. One highlight of this week's proceedings was also a successful inaugural meeting of the AWARE Steering Committee. AWARE is a shining example how collaboration, innovation, and shared commitment can provide sustainable solutions to the complex issues we face. We eagerly look forward to initiating our work with all countries and partners, particularly in the early warning systems work stream, which WMO is leading, which can help us to save lives and protect livelihoods. 6th Cairo Water Week, that's what I seen on the screen before it was Water Week 2023. 6th Water Week brought together representatives from numerous African countries. All of you who came here fostered a spirit of unity and collaboration that inspires us all. And the coming together of nations, of exchanging knowledge, sharing and finding common solutions, and foreign partnership demonstrates how power of Africa is important for Africa. Together we can lead the way in addressing water-related challenges, not only in Africa but globally. This is a very good example for all. In conclusion, this Cairo Water Week has provided a platform for hope, confidence and action. We now leave this vibrant city with a deeper understanding of the intertwined relationships between water, climate change, and sustainable development. We depart with a renewed sense of purpose, committed to advocating for the integration of water into climate solutions. The conversations and connections we established here will serve as a cornerstone for more sustainable, water-secure, and climate-resilient future. It remains me to warmly thank the organizers for their fantastic hospitality and so fine organization of the Water Week. It's the first Water Week I'm attending in person. And this week also was Geneva Peace Week, which I attended virtually. I'm based in Geneva, but I decided to come to Cairo Water Week and participate in another week virtually. And I should tell you that there is so much common in the discussions and challenges which I had participated here and in Geneva Peace Week. All the best to you. Thank you to all colleagues, friends, experts, partners. See you all, or at least most of you, in 1 month in Dubai at COP28. Thank you.
Long history of partnership and collaborative work between the European Union with all its member countries, with the countries of our region, in particular when it comes to the water management. Now we will have the speech of His Excellency Ambassador of the European Union to Cairo, Mr. Christian Berger.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear Minister. Thank you for this event. Thank you for the whole week that you have been with us, driving the ideas of water forward. Let me start by congratulating everyone who has participated in making this happen now for the 6th time. I think it was a fantastic organization. Many important topics were discussed, and I want to keep it pretty short in my intervention because I know the Minister has a lot of say when he wants to close this event. So again, I think the Cairo Water Week has shown itself as a very important event to talk about water, water management, water scarcity in the region, in Africa. We had many important events with partner organizations like the Union for the Mediterranean, the African Development Bank, and many others who have come together here to share with us their views, but also to share with us what they are planning to do, where their investment will go, what they want to do in driving the ideas forward that we have developed here in the last week. So my thanks go to the Egyptian Ministry for Water and Irrigation, a very important partner. Let me repeat what we have said on previous occasions, that for the European Union, the water sector here in Egypt is the most important sector of support. We have invested here. We will continue to invest here because we also know that what we do here in terms of investment falls on very fruitful ground and is taken up by many organizations and ministries and partners here in the country. We also do this in what we call a Team Europe spirit, meaning we are working with the member states of the European Union, we're working with the banks of the European Union, the banks of the member states of the European Union to bring together the necessary volume of investment that is needed to deal with an issue as important and complex as water scarcity in North Africa and in Egypt in particular. So let me just give you a couple of takeaways and key outcomes from the Cairo Water Week 2023. Number one, strengthening the role of Egypt. This has been a theme, a recurrent theme throughout the previous water weeks. And I think we have managed to maintain these high expectations, and we have maintained the role that Egypt is playing in driving forward a policy dialogue on water. Secondly, we wanted to continue with, again, that started already in previous water weeks, to have a structured dialogue with civil society, with international organizations, and I think also very importantly with the private sector. So this has led or is leading to enhanced collaboration and partnership, and you saw in the video that Egypt signed a number of important agreements, both with the private sector but also with partners in the international community. And the fourth point I think we can take away from this Water Week is innovation and technology and advancements. I just had, a few minutes ago, we had the pleasure of handing out prizes to young graduates who have come forward with new ideas, innovative ideas in the water sector. And the jury told me they had difficulties to choose because all the projects that were proposed and submitted were excellent and hopefully will show a big impact on industry, but also on universities and teaching. We've just heard we are preparing for COP28, so I hope what we have come up with from this Cairo Water Week will have, like last year, the Cairo Water Week last year had a very strong, I think, mark on COP27, but also on the New York Water Conference that took place right after the Cairo Water Week. So I'm sure many of the ideas, many of the conclusions from the various working groups and discussions that we've had will now be taken to COP28 to enrich the discussion there. And again, at COP28, water will figure as an important and standalone subject, as it was the case in COP27. I've already mentioned the commitment of the European Union to continue working with Egypt in this important sector, and I would like to conclude by closing the cycle that started on the first day here in this room, when all speakers referred to the importance of water as an issue that we need to work with and work on when it comes to climate change, when it comes to peace, security, and also, I think it was mentioned by many speakers at the beginning, on human rights, the right of having access to fresh water, to drinking water, as we see now lacking in Gaza next door. So thank you very much for being with us, and I hope, looking forward to seeing you next year at the Water Week 24. Thank you very much.
السيدات والسادة الحضور.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's review together the outcomes of Cairo Water Week 2023 with His Excellency the Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation and the Chief of the Commission of the Cairo Water Week.
لا مش عايز. السلام عليكم.
Peace be upon you.
I thought to make it in English, so it might not be translation.
It's wonderful to see the people in the room with this very big number this year, so I'm very happy for that. But let me start by thanking your excellencies for your great effort. My friends, the ministers representing the African countries, your excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank you. You are the one who made Cairo Water Week a story of success. And I have to say, it is a story of success. It is a story of success because it brings us together. So I have some points I want to cover, and today morning I was in a session and I said the best thing to be a minister in a session that no one is going to talk to you about exceeding the time limitation. So yes, I think I had 10 minutes and I spoke in like 25 minutes and then realized no one is stopping me, but I used to stand here in the previous Cairo Water Week before being a minister. And I was always bargaining, can I have 2 minutes, can I have 1 minute? So let me enjoy being a minister now and just speak. Enjoying being a minister and enjoying the Cairo Water Week because I really enjoyed Cairo Water Week, this time much more than last year. So we have some points. I would like to take you very quickly through the journey of the previous 5 years of 5 editions of Cairo Water Week, official opening ceremony, which was very special this year, Cairo Water Week in numbers. Although all the challenges in the region, what I think you succeeded to make it another story of success. The main themes that we covered, main outlines, what we discussed already under these main outlines, the high-level events, side events, scientific sessions, competitions, exhibition, and selected outcomes. So these are the topics that I would love to cover in the coming minutes. And as we agreed, I can take as much time as possible. So the 5 editions, the previous 5 editions, they were really very important to set the scene for bringing water and climate, but also tackling many other issues like integrated water resources management, hydrological extremes and resilience and water scarcity related topics, innovation technologies. So we had in these 5 editions in the last 5 years 20 competitions. I have to thank all the people who worked before, the previous ministers and also the teams who worked in these 5 editions before me and before the current team to join. We had in the previous years more than 21,000 participants, of course, including some of them were online, especially in the COVID year, because it was blended, and I think also other versions, they were including people online. So 1,045 international and regional speakers and 90 international and regional organizations, so I have to thank them here, and 75 exhibitors, so companies and others, not always commercial or private sector, because in the exhibitions we have also universities, we have NGOs, we have other sectors participating with us. So the official opening ceremony, if you had the pleasure to attend, because I enjoyed it, we had more than 13, I think we had 13 ministers. We had also representatives, high-level representatives of international agencies. We had in this event, I think I can move, huh? Do you still hear me? Wonderful. I thank the technical people. This time, it's wonderful. I had the pleasure to be with you in the opening. The Ambassador Ahmed Abul Ghait, the Secretary General of the Arab League, he was also present here. Ms. Maaike van Ginneken, the Special Envoy of the International Water Affairs of the Netherlands. And we had also His Excellency Abdel Hakim Al-Waer, who is here. I welcome him, always a very strong collaborator of our ministry. He is a FAO Assistant Director General, and we enjoyed his interventions not only in the opening but throughout the entire week. We also had Ms. Florica Feng Hoji. She is a Director General for Environment, European Union. And we had a very fruitful discussion, and I think you will be hearing good news in the coming weeks. Honorable Pal Mai Ding, His Excellency, he is with us, Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, South Sudan, but also Madame Zhu Qingyang, Vice Minister of Water Resources of China, and very big Chinese delegation for the first time ever in the history of the Cairo Water Week. So we also have some very interesting numbers that I would love to share with you. We had 1,500 registered participants and 800 guests this year. We have 450 speakers as in our registration platform, 72 sessions, 64 international and regional organizations were present here, 62 countries were represented, 7 workshops that we organized throughout the entire week. 36 technical and scientific sessions and 8 high-level events, 5 plenary sessions, 12 side events, 23 exhibitors or companies, and 5 competitions. And was also very interesting part of the Cairo Water Week to see the presence of youth, and I will come to this later on. So the main themes, as you know, we had every day one theme that it's covered in a plenary and also parallel and side events. We had the cooperative management of river basins, support co-benefits of water management adaptation actions and economic growth. We had the third, green water for restoring freshwater ecosystems and adaptation to changing climates. Number 4, it was about improving early warning systems for severe weather events and prolonged droughts. The last pillar or the last theme of this year Cairo Water Week was about integration of climate and water policies with national sustainable development vision. So these are the 5 themes that we covered. If I take you through what did we discuss in each theme this year. In the cooperative management of river basin, we were focusing in the sessions on importance of transboundary water cooperation. So we're always seeking collaboration among the riparian countries, concrete examples of successful transboundary cooperation at the basin, some good cases that shows cooperation in the river basin is possible, data exchange for developing basin-wide IWRM or integrated water resources management plans, and basin-wide strategies. In the second theme, which was about support co-benefits of water management adaptation actions and economic growth, we discussed adaptation and mitigation options to support mutually agreed policy. We also discussed cooperation as a key to climate change adaptation and its co-benefits. We had interesting discussions about what are the solutions that we have to integrate water and the climate together. And today morning also there was an interesting discussion between different generations where questions also from the younger one worried about their future, of course, and they are right, and they have the right to worry and how we are going to deal with the future of bringing climate and water, or at least continue doing this, but also implementing something on the ground. That's why here we also discussed promoting measures to decouple economic growth from freshwater use, and degradation was one of the themes. Mobilizing funds, without mechanism to implement, it's going to be very difficult to make real success on the ground. Theme 3, it was about green water for restoring freshwater ecosystems and the adaptation to changing climate. Here we had the discussion, and we had also a plenary that's focusing on vulnerability of freshwater ecosystem, global warming, mitigation and adaptation actions, green water utilization, climate smart irrigation, and agriculture. And you can see technology is a cross-cutting issue in all the discussions, performing green water accounting or water balance. Number 4, it was about improving early warning systems for severe weather events and prolonged drought. And this is, of course, one of the very important pillars, because early warning system is becoming significant with the climate change, because it's a key element of climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction, which was part of the discussion. Prolonged drought and forecasts and long-term mitigation and adaptation actions, and also investments. Always investments has to come and has to be discussed with also the right people, and bringing the right and mobilizing funding for such actions. Enhancement of risks observations, monitoring and forecasting infrastructure. The last theme was integration of climate and water policies with national sustainable development visions. Here we had also sessions and plenary on water and climate synergies and integrated policies, institutional coherence and multi-stakeholders partnership, governance and its relation to water and climate, promoting nature-based solution. And I think we had some very interesting discussions, but also examples and clear examples for nature-based solution. We are here in Egypt, are always proud of the example that we have in the north coast of Egypt that we presented here, I think a couple of times even during these days. And there was also another field trip to visit and see it. And we will be also very willing to share our knowledge with other African and non-African partners. Floods management and rainwater harvesting and its role in climate adaptation. So these are the topics that we had discussed over the entire week, as I said, in the plenary or in the parallel sessions. The high-level events, we had very interesting high-level events. We had here the Egyptian-Dutch expert water panel, because our cooperation with the Netherlands is more than 40 years now of collaboration and continuous support and sharing knowledge. We had also the EU, UFM, AFDB Water Investment Forum, which was very interesting to have this session. I had the honor also to participate. We had the first AWARE steering committee meeting, which was not a closed meeting. We opened it to everyone so that whoever is interested to learn more about AWARE and what is this initiative about. It was open, and I think it was an interesting discussion that we took note what are the concerns, but what are also the positive and motivating or driving forces of this initiative. African event on the road to the 10th World Water Forum. There was here a kind of discussion, and we heard to everyone, we documented all the results, because we in Egypt, as a president of the AMCAW, or the African Minister Council on Water, we are committed to go through a consultation process in the entire continent, not only in this event, in the other events as well. And I think we have the Sun Africa is coming, and this will be also one of the events that we will make use of, and previous events and coming events, to make a kind of consultation to come up what is the African message that we want to take to Bali in Indonesia next May, in May 2024, to be presented as the voice of Africa. Refugees' rights on water and water-scarce countries, this was one of the very interesting sessions about the discussions. What is the problem of refugees and migration, either legal or illegal, that has something to do with water-related and climate change-related aspects. The roundtable discussion on the water desalination technologies for climate change, it was the first step, I have to say. We had invited specific experts from everywhere. We had experts from the Gulf countries, Australia, Spain, other European countries, Asian countries, NGOs, governmental institutions, international organizations, to try to understand how water desalination could be part of the solution in the future for agriculture. I don't say we have an answer, but we had at least started this discussion, and we are going to continue it. And the other high level was towards harnessing successful transition of the water agenda for from COP27 to COP28. It was important to see what are the messages that we are going to take from COP27 to COP28. And here we have also follow-up interactive dialogue session, which of course the Egypt and Japan, the Japanese government and the Egyptian government are leading the interactive dialogue that was started last UN Water Conference in New York, and we are going to continue. So we wanted to follow up on the results that came out of the UN Water Conference, and then we are going to take the results, of course, to the next step in the COP28. But from the COP28, we are going also to take further messages to the 10th World Water Forum next year in May in Indonesia. Side events, we have signed an agreement. This was something that our ministry concerned with Her Excellency, the Minister of Fisheries in Uganda. In the 6th Africa Young Water Professionals, this is also one of the important events that meant to be for youth and younger generation. The IBDC International Panel of Deltas and Coasts, they had also here another side event. The Aqua Dialogues, here we had the youth, and I was just passing by because I finished my session and I walk and I stand behind, listen what's happening. And here it was very interesting, and I thank the European Union for that. It was very interesting discussion with the young people, and I had to intervene in this because it was really very interesting session. Another side event that was finalizing or putting the final draft for the work program between Egypt and the Hungarian government, and last but not least, AU, UFM, AFD Water Investment Forum, that was also one of the side events. We do have scientific sessions, and I think this is one of the strengths of the Cairo Water Week. It's not a scientific conference only. It has scientific dimension, it has practical dimension, it has also the international flavor, and trying to bring all of these together, especially in the presence of the policymakers. And I think we should keep that. We don't want to go in the direction of having only scientific conference or policy-oriented. This mix we are missing in most of the events. And I think this is one of the strengths of the Cairo Water Week. This year, we had 6 scientific sessions, 66 presenters with very interesting research results coming from 12 countries, 121 received research papers. I think what's meant here, 37 of them were presented in the form of oral presentation and 29 as posters. Field visits, as I said, we had organized the field visit to the nature-based solution that I mentioned many times now in the north coast of Egypt. Tomorrow there will be a visit to see the use of solar energy for irrigation. So I don't have photos, but if we come tomorrow, I will give you some. Iraqi minister asked also to visit, and the Tunisian minister for agriculture to visit the Hammam station for agriculture drainage wastewater. We have the biggest one on earth, and it has a Guinness record, the Bahr al-Ba'r, but I have to tell you, this one is bigger than the biggest one. This is producing 7.6 million cubic meter per day, and it's almost completed, so it's 100% completed, but it will be opened very soon. Competitions. We had many competitions. We had here the Ibtikar, and Ibtikar stands for innovation. We were looking for solutions for water challenges. So we had here not only researchers from different entities, but we have also young people. We had some solutions that came up. We had 25 ideas, interesting ideas. We appreciate all of them. And, but we have only 2 winners who got the award. The 3 minutes, I have to thank also the FAO for supporting many of these activities and funding also many of these activities. The 3-minute thesis competition is also a session that everyone should present only in 3 minutes their work, their research, including the research problem up to the results, and they have to convince us. And here we had 36 participants, but 4 winners at the end. The best practice for water conservation farmers competition, this is the one I enjoyed most because it was just coming from the heart. People are really practicing interesting ideas for saving water, and we just were looking for them. So they were not applying to compete, but we are just going to check here and there and collect and encourage people to come. And then we were surprised that I attended this session. And when you hear them presenting, you cannot believe that they speak in their words, in their language, about the social dimension, the economical dimension, and the environmental dimension. So these are the 3 pillars of sustainability that we used to teach our students. They were teaching us how to implement this on the ground with their ideas, with their business model, because it has to sustain. It has to make profit in order to sustain. And they were making profit, but at the same time saving water. So we had 10 winners. You cannot reduce them even more. I could have loved to give all of them the awards, but we had only 10 winners who got the prizes here. So the best graduation projects, so I think it was just completed because they added this now, 23 projects for winners for the young water inventors. So you see we are focusing more on the young people in this Cairo Water Week together with our partners. 160 projects, 5 winners. Exhibition very quickly, and here we have 23 representatives here, as I said, universities, companies, others, and the research institutes, foreign partners, private sector, and we have the Czech embassy. They asked for a booth, and it was very interesting. And they brought from Czech the companies that they believe should be here in Egypt or enter the Egyptian markets, and they presented this in one of the booths that we have. I selected some outcomes with the team, of course, not me, but the people who were reporting in the different sessions to conclude what were the outcomes of the 6th Cairo Water Week. And I have listed them here for you. Of course, there will be more details, there will be reports, there will be online materials that we will upload during the coming weeks. So from the first theme, we had here the very interesting results that came. Of course, we always focus on Africa, so to speak, accounts for about 2–3% of the global greenhouse. And here we should stress and take this message forward on access to clean drinking water and proper sanitation as a basic human right. Of course, this is known, but we want to stress on this, that it is a human right. We should not leave anyone behind. And also here, African message to the 10th World Water Forum. I'm not saying that's what's going to go to the 10th World Water Forum, but that's part of the results of the consultation that happened here. We are going to accumulate and collect all of them in the coming events, and then we see what is going to be the messages to the 10th World Water Forum. But this is part of what came out of the session. So the new water technology and innovative solutions, capacity building, climate change resilience, and the implement commitment on climate finance, water and sanitation for all. So again, leaving no one behind. The international community has also the obligation to support countries that are hosting refugees and migrants, and I told you this was one of the interesting sessions that included international lawyers who understand more about legal related issues, and it seems that there is a need to raise the voice of the countries that are hosting refugees. Egypt and Japan also are going to continue their effort following up the progress of the UN Water Interactive Dialogue 3, and as I said before, taking the messages to the next steps and the next platforms or events. Early warning systems. Of course, in such an event, we have to tackle the early warning systems and the need for technologies. But of course, there are countries that have nothing, as you said before, that they need also strategies and technologies for detecting, analyzing, predicting, and disseminating warning. That is very important for developing countries, and that's also needed for the African continent, but also for all the developing countries to have early warning systems, thanks to the WMO, and thanks also to the UN General Secretary for the Early Warning System Initiative. Non-conventional water resources, we need to focus on technologies, not only for desalination, as I mentioned before, but also for water reclamation, for wastewater treatment, low cost, low tech. That could be also part of the solution. It doesn't have to be sophisticated technology coming from the West, but it can be low cost, low tech, but we need to work on identifying and also affording that for the poor countries. The water, energy, food nexus continue to be an important topic, especially that leads to more effective climate change adaptation and create resilient communities. And it has positive impact from finance and investment perspective. Using nature-based solution, I think we have heard some interesting examples, and we have seen here in the exhibition some of the mangroves plantation or sand nourishment for coastal protection, and also we have to make use of this in order to face not only cyclones and extreme events, but also the sea level rise. Stressing the crucial need for appointment of a UN special envoy on water, because this was one of the recommendations of the UN Water Conference in New York. Countries requested to have a UN water envoy. Until now, after almost now 7-8 months, we still don't have the water envoy, and we don't see even, at least for the people outside the UN system, we don't see real movement towards having the UN water envoy. So we stress on the need for that, but also we need inter-COP process. We come up with decisions from the COP, how they will be implemented. So we need inter-COP process to implement the results of the COPs and implementation mechanism, and we need to empower and include the different initiatives from the CAR in Senegal, or the Action for Water Adaptation and Resilience, or any initiative that's supporting the different countries and it has a kind of mutual agreement. From the day of the transboundary, here there is an urgent need to refrain from unilateral actions on transboundary rivers and focusing more on cooperative and effective approaches to come together. And it is possible. So the comprehensive and non-selective compliance with the international law we have to avoid. We have to follow the international law in riparian countries and cooperation among ourselves. Better understanding of how to measure green water and account for it in integrated water resources management has been highlighted here. Knowledge base to support policy development and enhance water use efficiency. So these are, in general or in short, what came out of the different sessions. As I said, there will be detailed documents that explain this more, and that will be uploaded online for everyone, for the media, for the scientists, for anyone who is interested. All these materials will be uploaded online in today and the coming days. These are the organizers, the co-organizers, the honorary sponsor, the sponsors, the activities sponsors, but also here we have the conveners. These are all the people who participated, all the organizations participated here, include also premium exhibition and also diamond exhibition and gold, etc., and silver. So these are all the organizations working with us. This is the Cairo Water Week number 7. It's going to be about towards building water resilient communities that we want to continue dealing with resilience. We want to continue dealing with climate change, but not only climate change. Resilient communities or water resilient communities, they need more than adaptation and mitigation to climate change, but that's what we are going to discuss next year. Between the 13th and the 17th of October, I invite all of you to come back to Cairo and join us in the 7th edition of Cairo Water Week. And I end by thanking all of you, thank the organizers. And I have a list of people to thank, so you need to be a little bit patient. So first of all, I would like to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their collaboration with us, not only in the topic of Cairo Water Week, but in all the files. We have a very harmonic relation, wonderful relation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank them very much. Thank His Excellency Ambassador Sameh Shukri for coming to the opening, but also support throughout the previous year. Thank you. Let me also thank the co-organizers, the European Union and the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So thank you very much for the co-organizers. I would love to thank our main partners, the WMO, UNESCO, UNDP, the League of Arab States, ICARDA, IMI, and also the UFM and the ISCWA. Thank the people, all the people working in the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, all the leaders, and I would love also to thank the planning sector, the main body taking the responsibility of this. Let me thank Engineer Walid Haqiqi and Dr. Amr Fawzi especially, and ask them to convey my best thanks and appreciation to all their team. And I will meet them, of course, early next week to thank them myself. So thanks to my office, and let me be a little bit coming to the people working in my office. I really appreciate the effort you did. We have been working here. I don't know when did they go to home. I mean, we finish and we start preparing also some issues for the next day. I have to say, the preparation for this Cairo Water Week started immediately after Cairo Water Week number 5. And the preparation for Cairo Water Week number 7, inshallah, will start tomorrow immediately. So, thanks to Dr. Ahmed Midhat, Dr. Nuran, Mohandes Abdelrahim, Mustafa Sunusi, Dr. Tahani, Dr. Mustafa Abu Hashim, Ustaz Ayman Isa, and also the security, because they really did a great job. Naqib Mahmoud, Omana Ala, Magdi, Sayyid, Hussam, all of them. I thank our media department for the great effort. Mohandes Muhammad Ghanim and all the team, Al-Musawwir Ali, Mohandes Ali, all of them. The information technology team, they were really wonderful, and also the public relations department for their great effort. Michael and Madame Sahar, thank you very much. Appreciation to the organizing committee, all of them and all the efforts they did. The volunteers, they did a great job outside. Thank you very much for them. Here I would love to thank also the audio and video team. These guys have done a great job. I don't remember that I had any technical issue, which is not normal in any event. Thank you very much. One person who is doing a great job from his heart, and he is always with us, anytime, Ambassador Mohammed Rafiq Khalil, thank you very much for your effort. I know that there are many other people that I forgot. I apologize in advance because it's really a long list of people who worked with us. I don't think there is any department or sector or authority in the Ministry of Water Resources that did not contribute in this Cairo Water Week. I thank also the participants. I thank you for having the sessions almost full, because this is one of the issues that we missed last year. Some sessions were empty, but this year I appreciate your interest and your being keen to participate in all the sessions. I would love to see you again. Thank you very much, and see you next year, inshallah.
معالي الوزير
Your Excellency, please keep joining us on the stage. And now I'd like to call upon our dear colleagues who have beyond their pension age, and of course for appreciation for those who are now retiring. I'd like to start by Engineer Abdelmegid Manoufi and Mr. Nasruddin Mohammed Hassanin. As a token of appreciation, Mr. Fadi Kamel Abbas Ibrahim, kindly join His Excellency the Minister on the stage for a photo. Engineer Amin Ahmed Abdel Fattah and Engineer Ashraf Mohammed Gharib Abdel Megid Yusuf kindly approach the stage for a photo with the Minister. Engineer Maisa Mohammed Mahmoud Ali, Engineer Hisham Ali Hassan Adib, Engineer Muhammad Hamid Abdurrahman Hassan, Engineer Ibrahim Muhammad Ad-Dusuqi As-Sayyid, Engineer Tariq Awad Ibrahim Hassan, Engineer Hana Hassan Ahmed Hassan, Engineer Muhammad Abdul Salam Ahmed Muhammad Faragallah, and Mr. Nasr Muhammad Tawfiq Muhammad, Engineer Ala Muhammad Hassan Khalid, Mr. Bishri Habib Girgis Habib, and Engineer Muhammad Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman. Engineer Magda Abdelhadi Zaki, Ines Awad Sulaiman Awad, Mrs. Sabreen Muhammad Yusuf Uthman, Engineer Riz Muhammad Abdel Gawad Mustafa, and Engineer Hamada Muhammad Ahmed, Mr. Ahmed Izzat Al-Zahri, Engineer Muhammad Abdel Wahab Muhammad Abu Saud, and Engineer Amr Muhammad Diab, Engineer Iman Abdullah Ghanim, and Dr. Hisham Abdul Azim Al-Nashwi, and Mr. Ayman Amin Abdel Salam Bashir. Last but not least, Engineer Mahmoud Muhammad Ahmed Ismail and Engineer Muhammad Taha Mahmoud Rumiya. The kind guests who have reached the age of retirement, all thanks and appreciation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call upon the researchers and professors from the Water Research Center to join us on the stage. The researchers and professors in the Water Research Center, I call upon all of them to take a photo and join us on the stage, please. Researchers and professors, Water Research Center. All respect and appreciation to Mr. Safwat Abdel Daim, Professor Dr. Shadab Gawad, Professor Dr. Ahmed Khater, Professor Dr. درويش، Professor Dr. Samia Al-Gindi, Professor Dr. Karim Atiyah, Professor Dr. Nahid Al-Arabi, Professor Dr. Muhammad Anwar, Professor Dr. Hisham Mustafa, Professor Dr. Yasser Raslan, Professor Dr. Tariq Samman, Professor Dr. Madiha Mustafa, Professor Dr. Tariq Tawfiq, Professor Dr. Hussein Al-Gammal, Professor Dr. Midhat Al-Bihiri, Professor Dr. Samir Ahmed Saeed, and Professor Dr. Muhammad Ali Hilal, and Professor Dr. Ibrahim Ishenawi, and Professor Dr. Shireen Thawrat, and Huda Faisal. Our dear journalists, please take this group photo for the professors and researchers from the water research centers. Thank you very much. Our respect and appreciation to all of you. Thank you very much. As usual, Cairo Water Week adopted many competitions.